Well, I just got shocked when I turned it on, so I hope it's recording. I hope I didn't just burn the camera up. But anyway, it is 4:54. That's a good number. I like that number, 4:54. If you're an old person like me, you know what 4:54 and 4:55 stand for. Both of them numbers stands for GM Motors. Great big honking ass V8 motors that used to put Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetors on and put great big headers on and put great big old 3/4 cams in, and you crank them up and the ground would shake. And when you stomped them, you'd have L6015 tires on the back of it. And if you didn't have ladder bars on the car, the rear end would go and the tire would smoke like crazy. Those are some fun times. Now you can have that same kind of experience with a Challenger today, or a Camaro, or a Mustang. But today you've got traction control. We didn't have it back then, and they're a lot safer today. It's a lot safer, but they're still not safe. I mean, you can still screw up in a Mustang or a Camaro or a Dodge Challenger because of rear-wheel drive. And if you're not paying attention, you go right off the road. So anyway, this is a continuing this discussion I was started when I had to go to work. Well, what I have here, though, as you can see, is a small can of Red Bull. It's only 20 fluid ounces. You know, it's the smallest can of Red Bull they sell. I want to make sure that I tell you the truth about things. So it's the smallest can of Red Bull they sell. And but the good thing about this, what I really like about this actually, is, I guess I might as well turn some lights on. I guess I look better under the lights. What I like about this is it says these are the ingredients: carbonated water, sugar, glucose, citric acid, taurine, which is actually a chemical you need, natural and artificial flavors, sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, magnesium carbonate, colors, caffeine, niacinamide, which is a B vitamin, pyridoxine, HCl, which is vitamin B6, calcium panthenate, calcium panthenate, and vitamin B12. So there's no aspartame in this, there's no sucralose in this, there's no other artificial sweetener in this. Now there's a shitload of sugar in this. There's 63 grams of sugar in this can, and I should not be drinking this. And that's exactly why I will not be drinking this, and you won't watch me drink this. This is the smallest can of Red Bull that they sell. You're not going to see me drinking this. I will not drink this in front of you. The taste of Red Bull is kind of like, if you ever had the Halloween candy Smarties. You know, it's a little, like powdery little, like it comes in a little sleeve. It's a roll, and it's a bunch of little broke up little candies. It's called Smarties. And they're real tart, real like Sour Patch Kids kind of tart. And when you bite into them, they give you a real taste zing. Well, that's what this Red Bull's like. It's like ground up Smarties with a lot of sugar. There's one other taste in here I can't figure out, but to me it's not unpleasant. Now, will this make me go crazy? Will my heart race? No. As a matter of fact, you know what the number one thing that jacked me up, that made me feel my body feel in the way that people describe what an energy drink did, is Diet Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Pepper, if I drank, say, 24-ounce Diet Dr. Pepper or two of them, I'd be wired to the walls. And it's because of the combination of the aspartame and whatever other chemicals they have in that drink. It affects me personally. And until I hated aspartame, if I needed a boost, I love to drink that stuff because I don't find the taste of Dr. Pepper horrendous. The fact that it supposedly has prune juice in it, you know, which it doesn't. I'm sure it's all chemical, but anyway. I want to do something here. I'm going to start this thing. Hold on. All right, so we've already gone 5 minutes and 53 seconds. Okay. So at 24 minutes on this, I got to stop. Because what'll happen is the camera will split. And I just don't want to split another thing. Anyway, I expect Knucklehead to get up here. She may not, I don't know. But in any case, so I want to continue talking about my buddy that had his leg problem. He smoked Cools. He chain smoked Cools. He actually smoked Cools so bad in our work van that I had to get the genuine painter's mask. It has the 2 pots that you use for gasoline paints. You know, the paints that have the I forget what the hell you call it in it. Petroleum. They're petroleum-based paints. When you spray, you know, spray paint sprayer. I had to get that kind of mask to stay in the van, work van with it. I just didn't. I'm not one of these people. I don't complain. I adapt. You know. I found that if you become a complainer, nobody fucking respects you. But if you adapt, and you can go a wide-ranging ways to adapt, the people will leave you the fuck alone. And I like that. But, he had a horrendous diet. My friend would smoke Cools, chain smoke Cools all day long. Okay? But his go-to meal was at the 7-Eleven. And he'd get the taquitos, or he'd get, I don't think he ever got, I might have seen him eat hot dogs once. But it was usually the quick stuff in the case. And he loved to drink Monster drinks. I mean, they sell a Monster drink that's bigger than this. And he got that. He would get 2 of them. And he drank that every day. And I told him, I said, dude, look, I'm just talking about your smoking, man. Please stop smoking. See, please stop smoking as much as you're smoking, you know? And we went through the vape thing. By that time, I was working somewhere else in the company, and he was still doing his thing, but he went through the vapes, and I had another guy go through the vapes, and there was this other guy that really connected with vape. And that guy started selling all the stuff to vape with. And he tried to get these other 2 guys to become like really good customers. And this friend of mine whose leg fell apart, he tried it, and after a while he just said, nah, I'm good. A second person tried it, was an Iranian guy. He tried it for about 3 days. He said, nah, I'm going back to smoking. And this other guy was an American guy. He tried it for a good, say, I guess about 4 weeks. And he said that, and I remember, this guy's name was Jeff. And he said, I never forget what he said. He said, Phil, I had to go back to smoking because vaping, when I vape, I couldn't breathe. So he had such a reaction to vaping that cigarette smokes was actually more kinder to his lungs. But getting back to my buddy that his leg fell apart, I'm not going to be able to do this. I can't stand that shit. Goodbye. I'm not timing what I'm doing. I just have to be good. I got a clock here, but the stopwatch is disturbing me. Anyway, so my friend's leg fell apart, and he went through some hell with it. Our insurance is pretty shitty, and he had to fight to get his bills paid for fighting that. In fact, trying to keep it. The number one thing was to not let it get infected, because once you lose your skin, your outer layer of skin, man, it's a war zone for your body. I mean, it's like free eats for bacteria. So they fought that, and this all happened. I hadn't seen him because I had retired to take care of my wife, but I hadn't seen him for about a year. And when I got back to see him, so he had already been through all of this, and I'd heard about this from another buddy of mine, and he showed me his leg, and it looked like I saw the pictures, so I know that the skin layers was gone. But it was all pink, with no hair. And it was pretty humbling looking, you know. So I hope that he stopped smoking. He was able to walk on it and stuff like that, so he didn't lose his ability to work. But that's a hell of a thing to have happen to you, to have your leg, the skin on your leg just suddenly, you know, just rot off. I'd never heard of that from smoking. So, but as far as I know, my other friend Dave, he's still alive, and the good thing with Dave was he was a veteran, and he was just barely had enough time as a veteran to get some help from the Veterans Administration, because, as you know, in the last 20 years, there's been a lot of people bitching about, you know, these people put their life on the line for us, and then you just throw them to the fucking wolves? What's up with that? And you spend $1 billion, you'll give it to a foreign country, but you won't spend $1 billion on a veteran? On, you know, 100,000 veterans? What the hell's that? So my friend benefited from that. Dave did, and he got some care, and he did retire, and as far as I know, he's doing okay. Like I said, I hadn't talked to him recently, but I have two friends that I talked to that would have told me if anything bad had happened to him, you know. And I asked him about, you know, I said, have y'all called Dave? He says, no, I haven't called him in a while, but I know this other guy that knows, has talked to him, says he's doing okay. But anyway. So today I'm going to get back to the fast, because this is the fast day part 2. Fast day 5 part 2. Fast went okay today. I had my home tea in my little cup here, because as you saw in the video, if you saw it, them 2 green cups, man, they ain't working. Because I was down at Virginia Beach, and I mean, pow, and the shit went up like a freaking cannon. And I said, nah, we can't have that. I don't want to make a mess of the truck, or the paperwork, or my tools, or me, you know. So, and drank that all day, and I think I had 2 bottles of water. I got a big bottle of Canada Dry ginger ale, and that was this morning after I did 2 jobs, and I was feeling a little bit down. and I really wanted to get some sweet tea, but you got to be careful, man, because I'm telling you, these people lose their mind about sweetening tea. I'm like, come on, guys. I just want some sweet tea. I don't need raw sugar syrup with a little tea sprinkled in it, you know? Holy crap, you know? And I'm saying that, and here I am, I got this right here, you know? But this doesn't taste, because I guess because of the Smartie, whatever's in it, that makes it tart, it doesn't taste as sweet. Anyway. And I did 5 jobs today on the road and got all 5 done. And that was a thumbs up. And got back to the warehouse, and I was gonna, we got training we got to do over the computer, and I was gonna do it, but it just didn't work out. So I come home, and been a pretty good day. I've been pretty happy. So I mean, I got this. This obviously counts as my fruit drink. Like I said, never, ever, never drink the light blue can. The diet can, don't drink it. It's got sucralose in it. Don't drink it. You're better off drinking this. And if you're a diabetic and you can't drink it, then don't drink it. You know. But this is sugar and glucose. And this is an old formula. This formula was old enough back before they were trying to push aspartame and sucralose on all of us. And I looked at the energy drinks. I said, you know what? What's in this doesn't look to me to be as horrendous as what's in most other energy drinks. Everything Monster has sucralose in it. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. So, and I'll be making another video here probably about 8 or 9 o'clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 hours. Knucklehead's been fed, and she's just chilling in the window here. And so it's been a pretty good day. But I just wanted to update about my buddy with the leg, that his leg has healed, and that it is looking like he's listening to what the Lord's telling him about his smoking. He's been through some pretty rough times economically, but he's a survivor. He'll find somebody that's going to give him a job, and he'll do good for them people. He's a fantastic installer. He should have stayed with our company, and instead of going in the office, he should have been an installer trainer. And he could have made the same amount of money or more that he made in the office, but he was determined to be upperly mobile. So, you know, you can't hate on somebody for that. But his strength 100% was installations. And he could have been a project manager. He could have been a lot of things. But anyway, he's doing okay. As far as I know, Dave's doing okay. I'm doing okay. And that was pretty much the only reason I want to make this video. Was I left the end of the video. I had to quit it this morning real fast because I looked at it and, oh man, this is 31 minutes. And this thing, what it does is at like the 32-minute mark, it stops recording and it starts another section. And then to put them together takes me like 4 hours. That's why when you see a split 2 videos of one subject, that's because I'm not going to sit down for 4 hours and do all the work it takes to make a feature-length movie. My life ain't a feature-length movie. My life is just one guy trying to make it through life and trying to relay to people the traps that he's seen, and hopefully you can listen to what I say. You can do your own investigation. Don't take my word for it. that sucralose is poison. Don't take my word for it that aspartame is poison. Investigate it. Investigate it. Fasting, what pisses me off most, I think if we had had fasting, I wonder if my wife had ever got sick. If we'd have been fasting. And if she had not been drinking Diet Pepsi, because she was a Diet Pepsi drinker. She was a Pepsi drinker her whole life. And that started with her mother as a child. Her mother would give her Pepsi as sort of a treat. So it was always a comfort food to her. And then when Diet Pepsi came on board, they sold it, man. They sold it. Oh, this is a healthy alternative. The healthy alternative. Yeah. I'm going to put some fucking poison in it. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Diet Pepsi. Thank you. So, anyway. I hope you're having a pretty good Monday. This is Monday, right? I don't even remember. I'm a little bit tired, man. But I will do that workout tonight. And yes, it is Monday, February 5th, 2024, and it is now 5:16 p.m. And that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you an update on that friend of mine with his leg. That he's doing okay now physically. I'm sure he's working somewhere, making a good living, being a great employee to somebody. My buddy Dave, he's retired for life now. He's getting money, I think, I'm pretty sure he's getting money from the Veterans Administration and from Social Security. And he's probably on 100% disability because after he had the second cancer, they had to go back in and they had to do substantial cutting, more cutting. And he was really brokenhearted about that. And I saw that before he quit. And boy, it puts every problem you ever have in perspective, you know. When you see people going through challenges like that, as heroic as my buddy Dave was and is, and I saw this with my mom when she had cancer, and she had cancer in her lung. She got it from Pall Malls. She smoked Pall Malls from the time I was a child, and then she got cancer when I was like 24, I think, or 22 or something like that. And then she passed away 2 years later. But, and she was a nurse. She was a registered nurse. And she became the head nurse of a major hospital up here. And she worked there for 10 years doing that. And she loved that work. And she loved being wife to my dad and being our mother. And they asked me if I wanted to go to college. And I said no. Because my head was scrambled. My head was just completely, from the time I was a teenager, let me look at this time because this is about to get long again. All right, 24 minutes. I got 6 minutes. Here we go. And I'll just look at it right here. I got 6 minutes. Okay. So, till 5:18, 5:24. All right, so anyway, I was a messed up kid. And I wondered if it was because I was a late life pregnancy, and also that my mom was smoking these Pall Malls all the time she was pregnant. Which I'm pretty sure she was, which I don't hold it against her. But I was born sickly. I was born very sickly. And the only reason I survived is because of my mom. And the good Lord, obviously. But my mom was very dedicated to my health. And I was like a little skinny, bony thing. Until I was, I want to say 7 or 8. And around 5 is when my health's finally stabilized. 4 or 5 is when my health finally stabilized. Now, people stopped being concerned about me, and totally blew off the point I was going to make about what I was saying. But anyway, my mother fought cancer brilliantly for 2 years. They took her lung out, and when they took her lung out, they had a problem with something in the incision. It seems like they left a. I remember them saying, or her saying, that they had left a sponge inside of her chest cavity, and she was. We didn't know what was going on. She had about a good. I wouldn't say she had a good anything after the lung came out. She was in bed, and she was doing poorly. My dad was having to deal with all this. Now, my mom had nursing friends down the street that loved her like a sister, and they would come and they would help clean up her wounds and stuff from the surgery. And but one Saturday morning, she got this boil, a blister on the side of her incision, and nobody knew what that was, and they were just tending it, making sure it didn't get infected. And it busted open one morning, and a frickin' pint of goo ran out the side of her side, all over the bed, all over the floor. And she went, "Oh my God, oh, that's so much better. Oh my God, I feel better." And what happened was her chest cavity was full of infection. And my dad walked right in on that. And it completely freaked him out. And he called the lady down 2 houses down that worked as a nurse. And she came up and cleaned her up. And my mom then went on to have brain cancer, and she absolutely refused to have her head opened up. She says, "You know, you're not going in there. You can radiate the tumor," because this was at the beginning of when they started doing the convergent radiation beam therapy, where they shoot a radiation beam from one side into the head and a radiation beam from the other side, and wherever they cross, the increase in radiation attacks the cancer. And that's what they did. But the swelling from that changed my mom, and she went on, the cancer just ate her up. And I remember her laying in the bed. They had her on so much morphine, she didn't know one day to the next who I was. At the end of it, she kind of knew she knew me, but she didn't know me, you know? She knew not to fear me. She knew that she knew something about me. And I told her, I said, "Mom, I'll pray for you every day." And she just kind of looked at me, and then the next day, the night after the next day, she died. And that was all from smoking. So, I'm not a fan of smoking. I never was a fan of smoking. I did try smoking pot, and then I was stupid and I burnt my lungs up, and that took care of that. And we are about at 29 minutes, and we're about done with this update. I hope you have a wonderful Monday and a wonderful Tuesday. We'll see you on the workout. I hope, if you can, please stop smoking cigarettes. Please don't vape. And definitely, please don't drink Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, the aspartame and sucralose. Now this, obviously, like I said, this is the dark blue can. This does not have aspartame or sucralose in it. And actually, I remember it's the sucralose. The light blue can has sucralose in it. Don't ever drink that shit. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. God bless you.